Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Codex Reviews. My name is Tim the Terrible, and this beautiful man sitting next to me is the curator of the Library of Comics, the Ric Flair of comic books,
Woo!
Uncle Gary himself. What are we reviewing today?
I have no idea, but it sounds like Zorro.
Oh my God. Zorro, Man of the Dead, issues 1 through 4. This just finished from Massive Publishing. Gary, you were getting this as it came out on the
Yes, I
shelf.
was. Trying
Yeah.
to tell y'all. I was trying to convince y'all.
I should have listened, and I'm glad I read it now, and I'm glad you and I get to sit down and talk about this because I got a lot to say.
And I got to reread it, which was a treat. and in the running for my cover of the year.
Oh, I love that cover.
Was the alternate #1 by Lee Bermejo. Look at that Z through, the Z in flames through the city.
Oh my God.
On the motorcycle. I mean, this in the running so far. I might see it at the end of the year.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, you got that to look forward to.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and get some credits out of the way. Like I said before, this is Zorro, Man of the Dead. Right there is the trade paperback cover that should be coming out this month, July, right?
July. Well, or next month, July.
Yeah,
unless this is airing, whenever this is airing. This is supposed to come out July of 2024. How's that?
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. In July, this comes out, and if you haven't read this, you need to. But credits for Zorro, Man of the Dead are as follows. Writing and artwork go to Sean Gordon Murphy, colors to Simon Gow, and letters by DC Hopkins. Okay, so I don't want to give too much away, so I'm going to give the briefest of synopsis for this story. So anything you thought you knew about Zorro, keep that right here because you're going to need it. So it all starts almost like a movie, right? Like a silent Zorro movie. And these events are taking place, and Zorro is given the business to whatever bad guy it is. Turns out this is all part of the Day of the Dead ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all just a stage act and whatever. And they're in this town named La Vega. And Zorro protected this town. This was like where his base of operations was and all that stuff. And
according to legend,
even left his trademark Z on the side of the church and all of that stuff. Well, as the camera pulls back, literally, they're having this celebration. There's cameras, there's reporters, there's all kinds of people having a good time. But come to find out that the cartel boss, I can't remember his name, but El Rojo, yes, comes in and demands that what does he demand? Like that, not that the celebration cease, but that Zorro isn't real. He doesn't exist. We will not have these sparks of rebellion in my town. I am here to protect you. You are here to make sure that the opium flows. And if you break that, then you'll be sorry. And the townsfolk kind of disagree with that, but they're not shy with quietness. They're quiet with fear, right? Because the cartel controls this town. And as a show of force, the actor that's playing Zorro gets killed with a fencing blade, with a rapier right there in front of his kids.
His own rapier.
That's right. El Rojo takes his rapier, kills him. The son is grabbed by the priest. They run into the church for protection. The daughter takes off, never to be seen again until the next page, which is 20 years later. She's grown up. She works for the cartel as more of a driver than anything else. Her brother Diego has not been seen or heard from in 20 years. And yeah,
I think they could see where this is going.
it just kind of goes from there, and I don't want to go too much more into this because I think it would give away way too much.
I think so too.
Yeah, so Gary, let's talk about this. I want to talk about, like, so okay, let's just dive right into how we felt about this. I fucking love this story. There's no way around it. I loved it. I am so happy that you have been talking this up for months, and I didn't listen. And Massive sent this to us, and I read it, and I was texting you as I was going through the
You
issue.
were.
I was like, man, this is great. This is wonderful. This is one of the best stories I've ever read. It's awesome. Sean Gordon Murphy takes the legend of Zorro, everything that you knew about Zorro, and uses that just like he did with Batman. And the 4 issues that he writes, it was enough, but it was enough to make me mad because I want more. I want more of Diego. I want more of Rosa. I want more of this whole setting and this
I
whole
want more Bandito.
I want more Bandito, everything. This story was amazing. The 4 issues that were there, the 23 pages per issue, flowed incredibly well. And
Yep.
I had so much fun reading it that the pace, even though it was quick, it slowed down just enough for you to catch your breath. But I was along for the ride
Yep.
on this. I was thoroughly invested from first panel to last panel. And the way that it ended definitely left it open for more. And I
Yep.
really, really hope that that takes place. Before I go into any grades or anything like that, Gary, I want to hear how you felt about this.
All right. So I bought this book because, Zorro, I remember watching Zorro on TV and
Mhm.
things like that. And I have a rudimentary knowledge of the character. And because of Sean Gordon Murphy's, bat verse that he's done,
Mhm.
I was going to give him a chance. Now, I will say this about Murphy. I really love his stories. His art is not my favorite. It's not my favorite style.
Mhm.
But this story had a grit to it. And when somebody
Ooh.
draws, and he's got grit to his art, right? So
Mhm.
I think he has grit in his art. So it's kind of sketchy to me.
Yep.
So when somebody is telling a gritty story and there's grit to the art, it melds really well with me.
It
So
was perfect.
so I thought it was a really good note. So it's kind of thing, his story elevated his style of art to me in this circumstance where I really liked it. I
Yeah.
mean, like I said, it's not my favorite style of art, but I really liked it. I really appreciated, and the grit of his art really, just kicked it into another gear. And I thought it was fantastic. I love the story. I love the characters. I loved Rosa. I loved Diego. I loved Alejandro.
Did you?
Bandito, Toronado,
Oh
and
my God.
Trejo. Trejo.
Danny Trejo.
Yes, very much based
I was
on
just going
Trejo.
to ask you that.
It's got to be. But what a great character
Oh, he was awesome.
he was. He was, and very conflicted character.
Yeah.
But great, great arc for that character.
Oh, yeah.
Great arc.
All of the characters.
Dude was a man, right? He was.
Yeah.
Dude
all,
was. Yep.
All of the characters from the primary players down to the supporting characters.
El Cementerio.
The priests,
Yeah.
the old homeless
Yeah.
guy.
The dude's former hitman or whatever he was.
Yeah.
Cemetery.
All had full character development, full arcs. They were fleshed out in 4 issues, and you did not feel left out on anything. Even Rose's girlfriend, who was only in, I think, like her total appearance, you could put into maybe a quarter of the issue.
Esperanza.
She was fleshed out too.
Yeah. Well, and there's a fox. Who doesn't love a fox?
Bandito, my favorite companion.
He was great, right?
It was amazing.
I was more worried for him than I was for the human characters in this.
My God.
Don't hurt Bandito.
So there's this part in the story, ladies and gentlemen, where Diego, who has a fractured mind because of what he saw his happen to his dad,
Yep.
and because of the training he got from the priest, thinks that he is Zorro, or so we're led to believe. Whether
Yep.
it's true or not, it's never really explained, and I enjoy that. But there's this one part where Diego gets injured. They're floating away on these rafts, and Diego can barely speak. The first thing he says is, Rosa, Rosa, where's my sister? She's been captured by the cartel. We don't know if she'll survive into the morning. His next question was, Bandito, where's Bandito? And the priest is like, yeah, where is that fox?
Where's Bandito?
And where was Bandito, Gary?
He was helping out. He was lending a paw and a tooth or two.
Oh my Lord.
Yep, Bandito was great. And whether the whole Zorro spirit of Zorro thing, there was a sword that was rumored to have the essence of Zorro in it. So who knows? Possibly. It's legend, right? You're carrying on legend. So that's what legends are. There's myth, there's legend. You're telling a modern retelling of it and inspiring the people. Yeah.
I'm inspired. And I love the fact, like, maybe this is just me putting these two together when the pieces don't fit, but I think that they do. I think that Sean Murphy did a little bit more connecting than is on the surface. So what movie did the Waynes go see when they were killed in the alleyway?
Oh, very good. Legend of Zorro.
That's right. Yep. And what did he call Diego during the process of the story? He called him a white. No, he called El Cementito the White Knight, I believe. Yeah. So that reference was in there. A Robin reference was in there. More Robin Hood, but a Robin reference was in there. And when they went into the church, in the room that was dedicated completely to Zorro, did you notice all the graded comics that were there?
I didn't pay attention to that.
Yep. So in this scene, ladies and gentlemen, when you're
pay attention to that,
when he's walking through and the camera is panning, right? You see this whole display, 4 books on one side, 4 books on another. They're quick sketches, but one of them is the DC Zorro #1. Another is the Marvel Zorro #1.
Wow.
And all of that other stuff. And each of the books have grades. One has a 9.1, another has a 9.2, one has a 9.9. Go back and look at that again.
I'll have to look at that. That's Alejandro's
his sanctuary. I think that's in issue 3, if I'm not mistaken. It was when El Rojo and the whole cartel, Gary's looking right now. It was when El Rojo and the whole cartel were in there getting all the blueprints and everything that they could before Rosa could get in there and get it. It's I believe it's in issue 3 when that happens.
Well, I'll look again, but that is I didn't notice that, but that's a great pull that you. I see the full page. This is where they took the trade cover from.
Oh yeah, exactly. Right there.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so that's where they took the trade cover from.
When Rosa really comes to terms with standing behind her brother. Now, don't take that the wrong way, ladies and gentlemen. If it's not in 3, Gary, it is in issue 2.
Yeah, I think it's 2.
Yeah, but Rosa is not. She is not a subdued character in this. She is very strong-willed, very thick-headed. She is very determined.
Stubborn.
She is incredibly stubborn, and this story is equally about her as it is about Diego. It's about a brother and sister that got separated from birth and them coming back together. She thinks Diego's lost his mind and that you think you're Zorro. Yep. You're not Zorro. Zorro doesn't even exist. This whole spirit of Zorro thing. How could you even think that? That's completely wrong. And Diego talks just like out of the 30s or the 40s.
Yeah, I see the graded books. I see them. Yep.
Yeah.
That's issue 2. Yep.
Yeah. You'll have me ride in this horseless contraption? How is Tornado supposed to fit in there?
Yeah.
It's
his horse.
Yeah, so issue 2, ladies and gentlemen, that's where the CGC books are.
Yeah, his mind is a little fractured because
Yeah,
he understands who people are, but then he acts like he doesn't understand the modern conveyances of the current
exactly.
age.
But
So
there's even times where he turns it off and he
yes,
is Diego and he's like, "Look, I've been listening to everything you say. I understand it all. I know what you're saying, but this has to be done."
right.
So let me give my rating for this. So writing across the board gets a 10 out of 10. 4 issues. This is one of the few times that 4 issues worked really, really well. Every panel was used wonderfully. Every page was filled with dialogue, and even the pages that weren't filled with dialogue said a lot. Sean Murphy did everything he needed to do in 4 issues. The only thing I'm upset about is that I can't read anymore. I want more to read. I want to be more invested, more immersed in this world, and I want this to go on. Massive, you need to have a part 2 to this. Another 4-issue miniseries needs to happen. This is fantastic. So yeah, writing 10 out of 10. Artwork gets the same thing from me. Like you said, Gary, this is gritty.
Hmm.
This is it just fits. His work with his writing fits. And like it did with Batman, the whole Batverse that he's doing, it works there, but it really works
It works better for me
here.
here. Yeah.
Yes, I agree with that 100%. This is where I think he can really shine because he's taking an intellectual property that I think the last stuff that was done may have been through IDW for Zorro,
I believe so.
or if there was anything after that, it was just sporadic. Massive, if you can keep this momentum going, you've got something here, and this is wonderful. So yeah, across the board, 10 out of 10. This is incredibly recommended on my part. Gary, what do you say?
I'm with you. There's a massive erection for this book.
It's so high.
So, I'm with you. This book from the first issue, I was like, oh hell yeah, I'm in. I'm in. I want to see how this goes. Um, I'm with you. Writing for me is massive. You're getting a massive score here. 10 out of 10 for me on writing. I think the characters, speaking of massive, the characters were really, everything was really fleshed out. So it was really, it was really, see, we didn't even make reviews dirty. I'm sorry. I'm
The
terrible.
action was
Yeah.
throbbing.
It was
My
throbbing,
veins
right?
pulsated as
Yep.
suspense took over.
Blood was flowing. Yes.
The climax of the story was
Oh,
such a
oh,
relief.
oh my God. Yes, it was. What a great bit of sword play at the very end. So
Ooh.
that was great. Yeah. Yeah. I can't give it away, but there's a great moment where he gets a hold of a second, where
Oh,
one of the characters gets a hold of a second sword that is just fantastic.
it is so
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
The whole
So
thing.
yeah, the writing was great. The characters were great. I love the scenario. So getting to the art again, like I said, the story really, this art really meshed well with it. It's kind of akin to, I don't know if you've ever read Scalped by Jason Aaron.
I have not.
The art on there by Guevara, I believe his name was, is really scratchy, but man, Scalped was about things that were happening on the Native American reservations in the
Mhm.
West. And it was a gritty, it was crime, it was noir, and the art was just gritty and dirty. And man, it not exactly my style, but man, it fit that book. That book was so intense that I would read an issue, put it down, and feel like I had PTSD. The Scalped is rough, buddy, but it was a great book by Aaron. But I digress. But the art in this by Murphy, um, it really complemented this book. And again, even though it's not my favorite style of art, I give it a 9.5 out of 10. The way it
Oh,
met
that's
with
amazing.
this book, and that's high praise for an art style that's not mine. That
Yeah.
is not that is not my go-to. Where I love it, love it, love it. And but I think it fit. I think it fits so good that it's 9.5 out of 10. That it's that great. On this.
So that puts your overall at a 9.75.
You,
Just
Yes.
right there.
Yeah. You know what? Let's up it where it's 9 point something. Let's make it a 9.8.
Not,
9.8 out of 10, the whole damn thing.
that's
So
near mint, buddy.
yeah, near mint. So let's make it a 9.8. So it was that freaking good. So yeah, the art and 9.6 then, and then
There
take
you
it with
go.
9.8. So it just really meshed so well together. The story was fantastic. You cared about all the characters. Was a good.
Every single one.
The bad guy was good. You know, the bad guy was good. So
Trejo was amazing. Like,
yep,
let's talk about him for a minute.
yep.
His whole character arc, like in the beginning, when you were introduced to him, when Rosa goes and she's told that she's got to drive him
Hmm.
to Alejandro to talk about tunnels and things like that. As soon as you're introduced to him, you know he's somebody important. And from the way he talks and things like that, he does. I never caught it as a brother sister kind of thing. I always caught it as a father daughter kind of relationship that they had. Uh, but
Familial. Yeah, it's definitely familial. And he took he is protector for her.
mhm,
Yep. He always had, even though they were both working for the cartels, he
yeah,
protected her. And she would drive. She wouldn't do any other hench work, and he wouldn't allow it.
yeah,
So that's what
because
she did.
yeah, but his whole character arc from being this rough and tough dude, like there were soft moments with him, emotional
Yep.
moments, when he felt betrayed by Rosa, and
Yep.
then when she, like, I'm not gonna say exactly what happened, but when she said, "I will never forgive you
Yep.
for what you did," and this and that, and then you get to see that in the book and all that stuff. That broke his heart. That broke my heart. I was like, "Rosa, no, come on."
Well, and then there's the point where he realized he hadn't done enough.
Exactly,
Yep.
exactly, and what he does do in the book is the perfect
Yep.
character arc and development for him.
Oh, a fantastic moment. He has a fantastic
Yeah.
moment in this book. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I give this a gem mint 10 out of 10. Gary gives this a near mint 9.8 out of 10. Ladies and gentlemen, Gary, I think it's safe to say that this is incredibly highly recommended
Oh
by the
yeah.
Codex Station. Anybody that hasn't read this needs to check it out.
Absolutely.
There you go.
A
All right.
mass a massive hit.
A massive hit, ladies and gentlemen. It is so massive, it takes two hands
To read it.
to read this book. Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get the hell out of here. We've got about a bunch of other massive things to do. But in the meantime, Gary, we've got something. What
Uh,
is it?
Listen, now all the other toasts have it, but I don't know if anyone has it like Tim and I have, where we're positively dripping with it. We have all the socials, and what we would like to do is we would like to give them to you.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen, your favorite social media platforms and where we live stream on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. You can catch us right here on the Codex Station, right there, your favorite social media platforms. Please make sure to hit the like, share, subscribe, and follow so that way you don't miss content like this all the time,
That's right.
every time. And also, ladies and gentlemen, after you have been targeted by Zorro, he's going to mess up your shirt. You're going to need something new. Head over to the codexstation.com for all your Codex needs. Get some merch, meet the team, and so much more. Once again, the codexstation.com, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Gary, why don't you, like Bandito and Tornado, take us out of here?
Oh, here we go. I just want to tell y'all, thank you for listening to this. But if you want a tale that harkens back to the wonderful stories of yesteryear, then you're going to pick up this book. You're going to pick up Zorro, Man of the Dead, and you're going to read this. And it is going to transport you back in time to those great adventure stories that you saw or you read when you were a kid. And it's got the modern take on it, the modern flair. But when you read this book, you're that excited kid that can't wait to turn every daggone page of this book. It has all that you need for a wonderful adventure reading session.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next time.